So I'm looking around and realizing that this is like a stupid amount of books. I have been reading a lot lately, but like there's no way. Hi, my name is Aubrey. I'm so glad you're here. This is my fall TBR or my fall hopefuls. I consider fall to be from September to the end of November. I feel like I need to clarify that because there are a lot of like the Christmas season starts on November 1st truthers out there, and I'm not one of them. I love fall. It's my favorite season and I hold on to it as tightly as I can for as long as I can. So from September to November, that's kind of what this TBR is encompassing. So I have a lot of spooky books and like books that I want to read during spooky season, so September to the end of October. But there's other stuff here, just like fall vibes and stuff like that. Let's just get started. First up, I have Model Home by Rivers Solomon. In this, we're following a group of adult siblings who, after the mysterious death of their parents, have to return to their childhood home that is very likely haunted and figure out what really happened to their parents. They have to reckon with the family's past and present to find out what happened while they were away. I haven't read any River Solomon yet, so I'm really looking forward to this. I love a good haunted house story, so I hope to really love this. Next up, I have Bunny by Mona Awad. This is another one that I've just really been looking forward to reading. It's a weird dark academia. We're following this like cliquey, strange group of sorority girls who all refer to each other as Bunny. Our main character, Samantha, kind of gets brought into their world. I've heard that it's really weird and really trippy, and I'm very excited to read it. This paperback also has excellent flop perfection. Next, I have If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This is like the dark academia. I can't believe I haven't read it yet. We are following a group of like Shakespeare students who are recounting a murder that happened 10 years ago. Oliver Marks has just served 10 years for the murder of one of his closest friends, a murder he may or may not have committed. On the day he's released, he's greeted by the detective who put him in prison. Detective Colborn is retiring, but before he does, he wants to know what really happened 10 years ago. I can't wait. This is going to be so good. Next, I have Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. I'm a big fan of T. Kingfisher, and I'm so excited for this one. It's a Snow White retelling. We are following like an herbalist who has been summoned by the king to cure his daughter Snow, who is dying from a mysterious illness. Nothing seems to work until Anja discovers a secret world hidden inside a magic mirror. This dark realm may hold the key to what is making Snow sick, or it might be the thing that kills them all. I feel like T. Kingfisher just balances like horror and humor and fairy tale vibes so well. Like, I could not be more excited for this. I hope I love it. Next, I have The Bones Beneath My Skin by T.J. Klune. This is actually my current read. I'm not that far into it. I am enjoying it so far. We're following a man in his late 20s. He's grieving the loss of his parents, but it's really complicated because he was estranged from them. They turned out to be extremely homophobic, and then both parties like wanted nothing to do with one another. But after their passing, in their will, they left him a truck and the family vacation cabin. And so our main character, Nate, takes this truck and he decides to just like spend some time in this cabin, spend some time in the wilderness, grieving and dealing with this. And lo and behold, when he gets to the cabin is not empty. There's a man and a weird little girl. They seem to be on the run from something, and it's unclear what that is. And there's just something strange about the both of them. I really love TJ Klune's writing, as well as his ability to create these like unlikely found family scenarios, as well as the way that he writes children. I think he is particularly good at writing children that feel weird and quirky, but also really endearing and fun to be around. So yeah, I can't wait to finish this one. Next up, I have Ring Shout. This was on my summer TBR, but I didn't get to it, by P. Djeli Clark. And this is sort of an alternate history fantasy horror where the KKK are actually demons, and I think we're following like some demon hunters. I've heard nothing but good things about this. Next up, I've got Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I'm pretty sure this was on my fall TBR last year. I didn't get to it, but here's hoping I get to it this year. And this is a paranormal werewolf romance with, I think, based on the synopsis, like a murder mystery plot. Again, I just really love TJ Klune. I've heard great things about this series and I really want to get into it. It just feels like the perfect thing to read in the fall. Next, I've got Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. This is about two boys who are best friends, one of which is a writer and one of which is an artist. Andrew is the writer, Thomas is the artist, and something weird is going on with Thomas. He's just like acting strange, becoming more of a recluse, and Andrew comes to find out that Thomas's macabre drawings are coming to life. And so the two boys, I think, have to band together and like fight them off. I think there's also a budding romance between the two of them. I've heard such fantastic things about this. I can't wait to read it. It passed me by last year, but I want to make sure that I read it this year because it just sounds so good. And C.G. Drews is coming out with another book this year, so I don't want to get too behind. Next up, I've got Coffin Moon by Keith Rawson. This one just sounds super dark. It takes place in 1975, Portland, Oregon. We're following a father and his daughter who are seeking revenge for their wife/mother because a vampire kills her. Gritty, unforgettable, and emotionally devastating, Coffin Moon asks what will be left of our humanity when grief transmutes into violence, when monsters wear human faces, and when our thirst for revenge eclipses everything else. I love this cover. Like, this is so excellent. And I think this is just gonna be like a dark road trip story. I'm very curious about this one. Next up, I've got Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle. This is like much shorter than I was expecting. The aardvark edition is so cool. It has this really neat foiling on the front, and I think this is gonna be a really kooky, strange one. 4 years ago, an unthinkable disaster occurred. In what is later known as the low probability event, 8 million people were killed in a single day, all of them dying in improbable, bizarre ways. Strangled by balloon ropes, torn apart by exploding manhole covers, attacked by a chimpanzee wielding a typewriter. A day of freak accidents that proved anything is possible no matter the odds. Luck is real now, and it's not always good. And so we're following a statistics and probability professor and a special agent who are investigating a suspiciously and statistically impossibly lucky casino. He needs her help to prove that the casino's success is connected to the deaths of millions, and it's Vera's last chance to make sense of a world that doesn't. Because what's happening in Vegas isn't staying there, and she's the only thing that stands between the world and another deadly improbability. Bury Your Gaze was one of my favorites from last year, so I'm hoping for another silly, goofy, horrifying time. Next up, I've got You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. This is going to be another weird one with a lot of body horror. We're dealing with an alien invasion in rural West Virginia. These like hives have taken root in dark corners across Appalachia. They're like festering masses of worms and flies. And so in exchange for unwavering loyalty and fresh corpses, these hives offer a few struggling humans salvation, a fresh start. It's an offer that none refuse. Crane is grateful. Among his hive's followers, Crane has found a chance to transition, to never speak again, to live a life that won't destroy him. He's even met Levi, a handsome ex-Marine and brutal killer who treats him like a real man, mostly. But when Levi gets Crane pregnant and the hive demands the child's birth, Crane's desperation to make it stop will drive the community that saved him into a devastating spiral that can only end in blood. You Weren't Meant to Be Human is a deeply personal horror, a visceral statement about the lives of marginalized people in a hostile world. I've heard such good things about Andrew Joseph White's like young adult horror. I'm really excited to finally be giving him a try, and if I love this, I will certainly be picking up his YA books. Next, I've got What Hunger by Catherine Dang, and this reminds me a lot of The Eyes Are the Best Part. Ronnie's parents rarely speak of their past in Vietnam, except through the lens of food. The family's meals are a tapestry of cultural memory. Mei and Ba taught Ronnie that meat was a dangerous luxury, a symbol of survival that should never be taken for granted. But when tragedy strikes, Ronnie's world is upended, and her sense of self and her understanding of her family are shattered. A few nights later, at Ronnie's first high school party, a boy crosses the line, and she is overtaken by a force larger than herself. This newfound power comes with an insatiable hunger for raw meat, a craving that is both a saving grace and a potential destroyer. What Hunger is a visceral emotional journey through the bursts and pitfalls of female rage. Ronnie's Vietnamese lineage and her mother's emotional memory play a crucial role in this tender ode to generational trauma and mother-daughter bonding. I feel like there's been a pretty big trend of like female rage cannibal books, and I'm here for it. Slightly different vibe. Next up, I've got A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. This is a cozy fantasy about a young woman who resurrects her recently deceased Aunt Jasmine from the dead. I think she ends up losing a good bit of her power and being rejected by her coven, and now she helps Aunt Jasmine run a like magical inn. It's quirky and the guests are weird. I think certain handsome guest shows up and maybe gets roped into some of these weird goings on at the inn. Sounds like a cute, cozy rom-com. I just figured I would need some lighter stuff in between some of this dark, scary horror, you know? Next up, I've got The Helm of Midnight by Marina Lostetter, and this is a fantasy horror. So some thieves have made away with an artifact of terrible power, the death mask of Louis Carbon. Made by a master craftsman, it is imbued with the spirit of a monster from history, a serial murderer who terrorized the city. Now Carbon is on the loose, killing from beyond the grave. But these murders are different from before, not simply random, but the work of a deliberate mind, probing for answers to a sinister question. Krona Hervath and her fellow regulators must enter the mind of madness to stop this insatiable killer while facing the terrible truths left in his wake. I've heard somewhat mixed things about this, but I feel like I'm still so in my horror bag that like it sounds really appealing to me at this time. So I would like to give it a try. I believe the trilogy is finished. You know, we'll see if I like it. All right, next up I have Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I put this on a TBR like several years ago. I still haven't read it. This is one of my husband's favorites. And you know, it is a booktube darling, so I would like to get to it. It is a haunted house story. So Noemi receives a frantic letter from her newlywed cousin. She heads to High Place, a distant house in the Mexican countryside, unsure of what she will find. There are many secrets behind the walls of High Place, as Noemi discovers when she begins to unearth stories of violence and madness. Mesmerized by this terrifying yet seductive world, Noemi may soon find it impossible to save her cousin or even escape this enigmatic house. All right, next up I have another one that's been on my TBR for quite a while. I have Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. I don't know anything about this other than the fact that the ending, like the twist, is crazy, and so I think for that reason I'm gonna go into this blind. Sometimes that's fun, you know? Just going into something completely with no idea what to expect, and I have absolutely no idea what to expect. But this has been sitting around for a while and I've been getting back into thrillers, so I want to give it a try. Next up I've got Julie Chan is Dead by Lian Zhang, and this has been getting a lot of buzz lately, which has me very, very intrigued. So we're dealing with twin sisters that I think were separated at birth, Julie Chan and Chloe Van Heusen. And Chloe Van Heusen ended up being a very popular influencer with like a really glamorous lifestyle. So when Julie discovers Chloe's lifeless body under mysterious circumstances, she seizes the chance to live the life that she's always envied. Haunted by Chloe's untimely death and struggling to fit into her new privileged circle, Julie faces mounting challenges during a week-long island retreat with her twins' exclusive group of friends. As events spiral out of control, Julie uncovers the sinister forces that may have led to her sister's demise and realizes that she might be the next target. Again, I've just been hearing a lot of buzz. It sounds fun, and I'm very, very curious. Next up, I've got Chain Gang All-Stars by, I think I'm about to absolutely butcher this, Nana Kwame Ajay Brenya. And this is a dystopian where people who've been put on death row can instead choose to fight each other to the death, and it's become this like really popular sport. I actually read about half of this earlier in the year. I got the audiobook from the library, but I unfortunately didn't finish it before the audiobook got returned, and so I've been dying to finish it. I think I'll probably have to like reread what I already read because it's been several months, but it was very good. What I read was very, very good. Yeah, I just really, really want to know what happens. And I got super lucky. I found this on Pango because I missed out on this edition, but it's an aardvark edition, and it's like the special edition. It's got this really pretty foiling underneath, so that's really cool. I'm really happy to have this. All right, next up I've got Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. This is about a group of siblings who are all fighting to take over their recently deceased father's company, Biomagitech, Windfair Magitech. They were children with a lot of potential potential, but now as adults they're kind of like failing in one way or another. And so I think they all see this as like their one chance to like redeem themselves and finally live up to their potential. I just think this sounds really fun, very cutthroat and backstabby with super messy characters. And I don't know, it just seems like a good fall read. Okay, next up I've got Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. This is a weird tale with elements of like folklore and mythology about Piranesi, who lives in this like strange labyrinth. I've heard just like such wonderful things about this. I think it's supposed to be magical and strange and otherworldly, and it just feels like a perfect fall read, so I really want to get to this. All right, next up I've got Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I currently have 2 Alex E. Harrow, neither of which I have read, and I almost put both on this list, but the stack was already so high, so I made myself choose, and this felt like more of the fall vibe. I think this is another haunted house story. There's a lot of haunted house on this TBR. Nobody in Eden remembers when Starling House was built, but the town agrees it's best to let this ill-omened mansion and its last lonely heir go to hell. Stories of the house's bad luck, like good china, have been passed down the generations. Opal knows better than to mess with haunted houses or brooding men, but when an opportunity to work there arises, the money might get her brother out of Eden. Starling House is uncanny and full of secrets, just like Arthur, its heir. It also feels strangely, dangerously, like something she's never had, a home. Yet Opal isn't the only one interested in the horrors and the wonders that lie buried beneath it. Sinister forces converge on Eden, and Opal realizes that if she wants a home, she'll have to fight for it, even if it involves digging up her family's ugly past to achieve a better future. She'll have to go down, deep down beneath Starling House to claw her way back to the light. So yeah, another read just that seems perfect for spooky time. I love this cover. I don't know if these are supposed to be crows or ravens. I guess they're starlings. Yeah, it's a really pretty cover. There's a lot of spook and it sounds mysterious. Next, I have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I bought this last year for a vlog that I, alas, did not get around to making because of the hurricane. But if you've been following the channel, I read The Love Hypothesis this year and I absolutely loved it. Just like unexpectedly, I loved it so much. And so I'm even more excited now to read this. Again, perfect spooky time read. We're following a vampire and a werewolf in an arranged marriage. I'm really excited. I hope this is just really fun. Then I have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I read The Night and the Moth very recently. I thought it was okay. I had a fun enough time with it. Like, I thought it was a little bland, a little lackluster, but there were enough like ingredients to make it worthwhile. I've heard a lot of people say that her YA duology is much better, so I'm really curious. And this again feels like a perfect fall spooky time read. It is a gothic YA romantasy. I don't actually know too much about the plot, and I think I would rather keep it that way. This is another one that I would prefer to go into this knowing as little as possible. A lot of people really love this. I've, of course heard really great things, so I really hope to enjoy it. All right, next I've got Where I End by Sophie White. I got this from Aardvark last year and it sounds so creepy. So we're following this woman who's incredibly isolated. She has no friends, she's never gone to school, and she's never left the windswept craggy isle off the coast of Ireland. But she's taking care of her sick mother that she calls the bed thing, which I don't know why that gets such a reaction from me, but I just the bed thing. Aeolian's days are an endless monotony of feeding, changing, and caring for the bed thing. So when Rachel, a vivacious artist from the mainland, arrives with her colicky newborn, she arouses yearnings Aelin cannot fully comprehend. Soon, the unfolding of her mother's secret tragedy and Aelin's pursuit of her own dark desires are both destined to unleash a maelstrom upon all 3 of their lives. Okay, do you know what it is? I saw the original Pet Sematary when I was like in middle school, and it scarred me. So like the sister in the bed, if you've ever seen it, she's like dying from some kind of disease and she's like green. Ugh. And so every time she says the bed thing, that's what I'm picturing. So I think that's why that's freaking me out so much. But either way, it sounds really good, really weird, maybe a little bit gross. It won the Shirley Jackson Award, so I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty scary, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. Next, I've got The Resurrectionist by A. Ray Dunlap. Another one that just seems perfect for spooky time. I'm gonna read you the shorter blurb. So, a dazzling debut novel of dark academia in the early 19th century, The Resurrectionist brings to life the deliciously macabre adventures of a young medical student lured into the illicit underworld of body snatching. Historical fiction, true crime, and romance intertwine in a harrowing tale of murder, greed, and the grisly origins of modern medicine. I remember picking this one and thinking that like the writing itself sounded a little bit humorous, which I liked. This is one that I feel like I've been waiting practically all year to read, and I really want to get to it. Next up, I've got Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. This is about a young woman who ends up getting turned into a werewolf. I don't know much more than that, and I'm okay with that. I read So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison last year. There were things that I really enjoyed about it and things that I didn't like so much, but I liked her writing style, and so I've been really curious to try out more from her. This is her highest rated book in her backlog, which is why I chose it. I also really like werewolves, so it also seemed up my alley. I'm really looking forward to checking this out. I don't know if I've read a werewolf story centering a female main character. The woman gets turned into the werewolf, and so I'm kind of interested in that aspect as well. This isn't the only Rachel Harrison on my TBR for the fall, but we'll get to the other one in just a little bit. I've also got The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. This is another cozy fantasy by her where we're following a young witch who starts, I think, making like online content about being a witch, kind of thinking that like no one will actually believe her, but then she gets contacted to become a teacher at this like private school for other young witches, and I think she decides to take them up on it. Again, I think this is like cozy fantasy rom-com, which again I feel like I've been meaning to read this for several years now, and I would like to finally get to it. Then I've got The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I don't know if this is actually fall coded, but the cover certainly is. I read Spells for Forgetting last year, kind of around this time, and it was like the perfect fall read, so I kind of want to like recreate that, I guess. Spells for Forgetting was almost like a murder mystery. This one is about a family that has been burdened with like a mysterious curse that has haunted them for generations, which I think is like an eventual madness that sort of overtakes you. But then there's also this like mystery and a weird door. So after her grandmother's death, June follows a series of clues that link her mother's disappearance to the town's dark history, leading finally to a mysterious door. Behind it may lay the answers to the mysteries that have always lingered like a dark shadow. Upon crossing the threshold, June embarks on a journey that will not only change both the past and the future, but entangle her fate and her heart in a star-crossed love. Next up is one that I know for sure that I put on my fall TBR last year and I didn't get to it. I still just really want to. It's The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is his like Sherlock Holmes-esque fantasy series. I've just heard such glowing things about it, and that fantasy mystery combination just sounds perfect for this time of year. I really do want to try to get to this fall season, but I guess we'll see. Okay. And then just really quickly, I want to go over some new releases that are also on my TBR. And then I also have a couple of like backlist books, either books that came out earlier this year or that are like a good bit older, that I also just sort of have my eye on to maybe read this fall. So yeah, let's just quickly go through those. First up, I have Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This came out this month. I'm a big fan of Rebecca Ross. I love the Divine Rivals trilogy and A River Enchanted, and so I'm like really looking forward to this. It is like in spirit a prequel to the Divine Rivals, but it's set like centuries earlier, and I think we're really dealing with like more kind of, you know, characters of folklore almost, you know, like goddesses and gods and things. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Also on my list is Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. This is her newest book, and it is a haunted house tale. I love the cover for this one. I'm like so obsessed with that cover, and so I'm really looking forward to this one as well. The Devil She Knows by Alexandria Bellafor. This is a sapphic paranormal rom-com about a woman who makes a deal with a demon. Again, I just really love this cover, and I just feel like it could be really cute cute to pick up this fall season. And then last on my list of like must-read new releases, I also have Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldree, which is coming out this November. I'm a really big fan of the Legends and Latte series world. I'd really hoped that Travis Baldree would write a sequel to Legends and Lattes, and he has, and I'm so excited. I can't wait for some of the returning characters, and I just know this is going to be so lovely, and I can't wait. Okay, and then just really quickly, some backlist books that are also on my list. I have The Lamb by Lucy Rose. I think this is another like female rage cannibal book. I've heard really fantastic things about it. Like some of the reviews I've seen singing its praises just make me really want to read it. I think it's a mother-daughter story. I also have Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas, as well as her newest book, The Possession of Alba Diaz. Again, I've just heard such good things about both of these books. Vampires of El Norte has been on my radar for a while. I mean, I love a good gothic vampire tale, so like sign me up. I'm also interested in The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This is a magical realism paranormal rom-com. I've heard great things about it. I've been wanting to get into Ashley Poston, and this seems like a fall time read, you know? And then I've also got Slewfoot by Brom, which again, I've just heard fantastic things about. I feel like this is on every must-read fall list. I think it's kind of witchy. I don't know anything else about it, but I don't think I need to. It seems completely up my alley. All right, well that's all I've got for my fall TBR. I still feel like I'm missing stuff. Like I feel like there's books that I'm like not remembering that I want to read this fall. Like I said, fall is my favorite season. I think it's a lot of people's favorite season. It's just like the perfect season for reading and vibes. And I just feel like picking the perfect books for fall is very important, you know? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what's on your fall TBR. What new releases are you excited to read? Like what books are you most looking forward to getting to? Are there any fall coded books that you would like to recommend me? Let me know in the comments. I would love to chat with you down there. If you're looking for something to watch next, I just made my most anticipated fall releases video, so I'll leave that here. And I will also leave my most recent vlog right here. I read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, The Night and the Moth, and When the Wolf Comes Home. So if you want to hear more of my thoughts about those books, you can check out that video. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I hope to see you next time. Bye!